Okay, good morning, everyone. It's almost afternoon where I am. I want to welcome everybody to the day 4 challenge. And I just want to go over a couple of things before we actually get going. Just so everyone understands, I am not a big seller, especially in a training, but I just wanted to remind everybody I put a document up in GoToWebinar because when everybody signed up for the webinar, the opportunities to upgrade, and I honestly did get emails that people wanted to upgrade, and it's going to expire Monday night. You can still upgrade to a coaching call with Eric. You can upgrade to trade room and DMMs for the whole month of December. That one, in my opinion, is really, really helpful for the training if you want to do it because you'll get all the DMMs that we send and you'll be able to come into the trade room. It really kickstarts your learning. And then the third link is the referral program where you can actually get your money back for being in the challenge. So I posted the document in GoToWebinar, and just be aware the reason we're making it available is honestly the server was not working properly when people signed up. Okay, so just a heads up. So now I'd like to know, out of everybody that's here, who has a serious problem still with getting the software downloaded, or you couldn't do anything? I mean, what's the story? How'd everybody do? Okay. And who's got a problem that they want to talk about? Because it helps everybody if somebody's having a problem. If pretty much everybody's ready to go, um, IDs should be active. Okay. So there's no, I think I got every single ID enabled. Adrian, where do you download the software? Um, there is a document all over Facebook. So go to the Facebook group and please find that document. It'll explain where you download the files. Okay, it's all over the group. If you have a problem, then send me an email at help at 10minutetrades.com. Okay, everybody try to check the Facebook group first before you send an email. You'll save us all a lot of time and effort. And also check your email because check your email and check your spam folders as well to make sure that you're getting our emails. Now, okay, so a couple of questions. So Walter says he uploaded and installed the software, but the indicators are not showing up in the indicator list. That's because, Walter, they're not indicators. It's a strategy. So when you click on strategy, it should show up in your strategy list. Okay. Um, everybody, uh, virtually everybody that emailed me got an email back that you were at, that I said thank you or thanks. If you got an email back to your machine ID email, then you're active. And don't forget, enable the trade. We'll go over a couple of things real quick, and then we're going to do what the lesson is for today. And Lawrence, I realize that you had a problem with Ninja. Okay, you had a problem with Ninja, and you haven't been able to install. So you just remind me in an email, Lawrence, and I'll make sure that you get things going. Okay. We don't want you to be stuck. They will probably get back to you tomorrow. They're usually really good. So let me just make sure there was a question I wanted to answer. Um, there were one or two people that sent me an email, and I might not have answered the first couple. So if you installed the software, you know, load your Ninja platform, right click the chart, go to strategy, okay? Click on JOBB version 10 twice, and then the default is breakout trade. Put in a target, okay? Put in a target. You don't even have to do anything. Just click on the strategy, go to apply, click OK, and then press the enable button in the control panel here, and you'll get the logo. Okay, the logo tells you your software is active. All right. If you didn't send me your machine ID, you're not going to get the logo. You have to send, don't forget to send the machine ID. Okay. And there were one or two people, honestly, at the very beginning, I didn't answer their email that they sent the machine ID. So just, if you know, check your software. It's easy. All right, it's easy to do it. Okay, so we're here today to talk about the way that we trade. All right. So the way that we trade, honestly, is obviously it's called appointment-based trading. A lot of people call it news trading. Uh, we're always trading on a schedule. Everything we do is based on a schedule. People send an email. I'm in your trade room. There's nothing going on. Appointment 10, right? Appointment trading, trading on a schedule. I don't close the room, so you can go into the trade room. You could talk to each other, but we'll be there when the schedule says we're going to be there. So we have a free schedule that everybody can sign up for also. If you just go to our website and opt in for the free video, how to find my own 10-minute trades, how to find your own 10-minute trades, that will automatically get you signed up to get the free schedule. The free schedule is called the WMM, the Weekly Market Mover, okay? I also, in the document that I just uploaded to go to webinar, there's a link for a video how to read the WMM, how to read the Weekly Market Mover. If you have everybody should download the software. It's a brand new version. Everybody should download the software. If you have the software from 2 weeks ago and you downloaded it 2 weeks ago, please download it again. It's an update that we got ready for the challenge. Okay, so please, everybody download the software. It takes about 1 second. Okay, the website is just www. Hang on, 10minutetrades.com. Okay, and then just get the free video, and then if you scroll down, right, there'll be a note. Now, sometimes what happens is because I forget what the word is. I'm an administrator. I don't always see the same things that you do. But click on get the free training video. Here you go. And you'll get this little pop-up screen when you go to the website. And bonus, you'll also get the weekly updates. That's the weekly schedule. And that will put you on the mailing list to get the weekly schedule. Okay. We're not talking prices of anything, folks, until the challenge is over. So please just enjoy the education. You can come into the trade room really cheap for the whole month of December with the upgrade, but I'm not talking prices of anything until the challenge is over. So that's the one rule that we're sticking to very, very firmly. Okay. No matter what, you're getting incredible education for an incredible deal. No matter what you decide to do, you've got all these tools, all this knowledge, and it's a steal. So that's the deal. The weekly schedule. So again, it's called the WMM Weekly Market Mover. I've already made the schedule for next week. And what we've got going on next week is we're going to be trading definitely ISM services in the morning. That's a pretty popular trade. There's an earlier trade called final services. That's an event at 9:45 in the morning. So here's how you read the schedule. The trigger time is the time that the event takes place, okay? So if the trigger time says 4:30, that's the time that the API report gets released. The room opens, that's the time we open the trade room, okay? So we open the trade room most of the time half an hour before an event. Um, Sometimes 15 minutes if it's late night, okay? If it's very complicated, if the setup is complicated, then we won't do 15 minutes. We'll do a half an hour, okay? But we've found that half an hour is perfect to get everyone ready and set up, all right? The trade trigger, of course, is the name of the event that we're trading, the date, okay? And then we have the index that we're looking to trade. That's the instrument. Might be gold, GC, might be the Australian dollar, 6A. Some trades we have risk levels, okay? Depends on the trade. And then it also tells you there are what we call trade room events. In other words, we do a lot more these days than just trading the DMMs. We trade market opens. We trade special reports that I personally think should be traded. Um, Originally, my boss, Jay, did everything. And then as I spent more and more years here, he deferred to my judgment and let me add a ton of other events that we're going to trade. In the beginning, he didn't know me, so he didn't trust me to do that, obviously. To trade the company account and to add events, it took time to develop trust. So now we might have, for instance, final services, there's no DMM. It says no. And that's one of my possible setups. Okay. And then there are events that it says watch. And what watch means is it might be a new event, okay, that we're getting ready or that we think might be tradable, or it might be an old event that isn't behaving well. So watch means don't trade it. We're just watching it, test it, okay? Most of the time, most of the time. And usually there will not be a trade room opening time for that. Sometimes there will be a watch and there will be a trade room for that event. And in this particular case, unemployment claims is something we've been trading off and on for years. And it sometimes is very inconsistent. So I may trade it, but be aware it can be tricky. And we may trade it with smaller risk. But that's important to understand what the watch means. The risk level, 3 is higher than 1. It goes 1 to 4. Okay, 1 to 4. The little YouTube is our weekly stream. Okay, we stream one trade a week for free on YouTube, and anybody is welcome, of course, to come to that. And that's how you read the weekly market mover. Okay, that's the weekly market mover. All right, that's the schedule. Also, if you're a trade room member, and a whole bunch of you have opted into the trade room for December, when you're just getting ready to enter the trade room, okay, when you're just getting ready to enter the trade room, you'll be in the trade room lobby, and in that lobby, you'll see the schedule also. So let me show you what I mean by that. If I can, give me a second here. So like in the morning when I get ready to come into the trade room, right? Let me see if I can show you this without giving away all my information, right? So when you're getting ready to come into the trade room, it kind of looks like this. You can actually download the schedule. There'll be a link right here for the schedule. And then I put the schedule in so you can see when the trade room starts, okay? We call this the trade room lobby. Schedule's not updated yet for next week, but it will be today, okay? Kevin, you should automatically, I mean, if you go to 10minutetrades.com, Kevin, it should absolutely, there's nothing else there except the video. I'll send you the link for the getting into the room. That's the link for the website, not getting into the room, for the website. I sent that for everyone. Any other questions about any other questions about, we're going to have a session on family money, James. Okay, so unfortunately not today though. We'll have a session on it. Family monies are the best of the best. Best of the best events. Okay, we'll get a little bit more into that. And that's it. That's the DMM. I mean the WMM. And then it's not complicated. It's easy to read. Even if you never trade with us, it's a great idea to know market moving events so you don't get stuck in a trade, right? You don't want to get in a trade, a discretionary trade, not being aware that at 10:30 the crude oil inventories are coming out, or uh, Canada's rate statement that might move gold. It might move Canada. It'll definitely move Canada. Uh, the Australia rate bank, the bank rate might move copper. It might move China. It might move gold. So you want to be careful. You want to be careful. WMMs have not been posted to the Facebook page. You want to subscribe to the schedule. All right. I mean, we'll probably put one up, but you definitely want to subscribe, and it's definitely worthwhile to get them. Okay. So that's what we mean, obviously, by trading on a schedule. How do I come up with the schedule? I use all the calendars that are available, and there are a ton of them. I've gone over it a little bit. The WMM is free. Kevon, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Kevon. And it's absolutely free. No charge, no nothing. We'll just spam you to death. All right. I'm kidding, but there's no charge to it. And you'll learn something by watching the video how to find your own 10-minute trades. I mean, we try to at least, if we want you to sign up for something, we want to give you something in return that's worthwhile. The DMM is the daily market mover. So I go to 2 or 3 main calendars every week. I start with Forex Factory. It's my favorite. When you go to forexfactory.com, right? Forexfactory.com, just click calendar. And then in the middle here, dead center, are way more events that we even trade. Some of those events might be events that are just moving instruments we don't trade. It might be moving Forex, might be moving the US dollar. But anything in red with Forex Factory is most probably going to be a market moving event. So you got to think a little bit outside the box, right? Especially if you're a beginner. If you're an experienced trader, you can go to a calendar and you could look and see, okay, the ECB president is speaking. ECB is the European Central Bank, okay? So it's the Eurozone. So you got to think outside the box a little. What's going to move possibly the euro? So there's an instrument 6E, the euro, all right? You could actually set up a trade. You could design your own trades based on the fact that the ECB president is going to be speaking Sunday evening. The markets are open. Okay. Bear with me 1 second. I apologize, folks. Okay, sorry. Um, life sometimes, life sometimes is an emergency, so I just have to deal with it. So what I was saying, you could design your own trades. The Eurozone. So if you see that the president of the Euro, the European Bank is speaking, European Central Bank, you might think that you have a 6E issue, a 6E trade. If you see something that's German. Now, the other thing is just because it's yellow, don't automatically assume it's going to be an event that doesn't move any markets because the calendars aren't always right. And that's why people like to be involved with us. We have a lot of experience with events. Natural gas is a yellow. I'm telling you now, and you saw a video, natural gas is not yellow, which means a mild impact. Okay. They're color coded. Red is high impact. See over here, it has the legend. Orange is medium, yellow is low impact. Trust me when I say that natural gas should be a triple red. Okay. It's a triple red. It's very impactful. So, everything that you do when you drive a car for the first time, you don't know how to do it. You practice, you get good at it, and you learn the nuances. Calendars are the same. Okay, but I go through the calendar, I find the major events, and then I go to the next calendar. And there are people that like to trade Forex. Many of the calendars, all the calendars are futures and Forex related. I use FX Street, which is a very nice calendar. And you could see it has a calendar, and they have a different way of showing the impact. They use red, but they use this bar, okay? And then my favorite free calendar in addition to Forex Factory, everybody should use investing.com. I explained it a little bit in one of the previous classes. Go to investing.com, okay, www, obviously, click on news, and then click on economic calendar, okay, and then scroll down a little bit and click on this week. It'll give you the whole week of events, okay? And what I had said, the reason that investing.com is a great free calendar is when you're trading events, they show you the news results. So in other words, let's say we're in the trade room and we're trading, the anything, the ISM non-manufacturing, okay, which we will be trading this week, right here. Over here on the right is the forecast. They'll have a forecast, and then the actual news event will come out. So that helps you to trade the news. Maybe you're in a trade that didn't end real fast, and the news event and the result might have an effect on your trade. So try to learn a little bit about investing.com. It's a great free resource and it'll help you very, very much while you're trading. Okay. So investing.com, forexfactory.com. There's many calendars. Econoday has a very nice calendar. Um, but if Forex Factory and investing.com are the two really important free ones. And then we also use Financial Juice. They have a free calendar. Now, with their free calendar, because they sell a pro version of their calendar, their free calendar has a delay in the news results. And obviously, it makes sense because they're selling a pro version. Their calendar is fabulous. They have a squawk box. In other words, they actually speak the news results in your ear. Financialjuice.com. I believe their calendar is about $42 a month. It's well worth it. They're great. Hearing the news in a headset while you're wearing, a pair of earbuds or headphones is awesome. And it allows you to get ready and hear the news while you're trading or get ready with your setup, your trade setup. So those are the three most important calendars that we use, okay, and that I find indispensable. And it's just a question of practicing with them and working with them. When we're in the trade room, we're always showing the various calendars, all, off and on, depending on what's going on, what the trade setup is. But, we're always showing the tools that we're using in the room. Okay. So those are the calendars. Try to get comfortable with them and practice with them and look at them every morning. You should take a peek at the calendar, make sure you didn't miss something that might move the market if you're trading, especially if you're doing discretionary trades. Okay, and everyone understands the difference between a discretionary trade. That means, it's not an automated trade being controlled by a strategy. It's a trade you're putting on your own. The video is on. Just go to the website 10minutetrades.com, Michael, and you'll see the video right up there. It'll give you an opportunity to subscribe to it. Okay. Any questions about the calendars or the weekly schedule? Everybody good? Okay. Gord is asking if we use Tick Strike from Financial Juice, and yes, we do. Tick Strike is an indicator that the Financial Juice people make, and it's a very good indicator. We like it. We do use it. And again, some products that we use are not free, and you're going to find that some things are worth paying for and some things are not. I mean, that's just the way this all works. You want to try and not get ripped off by people that are selling junk and that are selling products that don't work. And then there are products that are fabulous, and some of them you have to pay for them. It's like if you want something good, it's usually not going to be free. And if you're a trader, you're going to have tools that you want to use that you're going to pay for because they're going to make you money. All right. It's just like anything else. You're going to have your expenses and your profits. You don't want to be spending more than you have coming in. All right. The second part of trading on a schedule is the DMM, the daily market mover. Okay. Now, people get very confused, especially when they sign up for daily market movers, because some days they don't get them. So remember the schedule, right? Remember how to read the schedule. The third column here tells us if there is a daily market mover for that event. If it says no, there's no daily market mover. The definition of the daily market mover is it's our daily report. It gets sent out the day before the event so you can get ready for the event, okay? And it has the trade set up on it. And I'll go through the daily market mover in more detail in a second. But just remember, when you sign up for the daily market mover, the weekly schedule lets you know if a daily market mover is available for a particular event. If it says yes, then you should get an email of a daily market mover the day prior to the event. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So you don't need to email us, hey, I didn't get my daily market mover. It means maybe there was no event the next day, right? If there's nothing going on, there's days where there's nothing tradable, and you're not going to get a daily market mover the day before a quiet schedule, right? So don't worry if you don't get one. As long as you're getting 3 to 4 a week, then that means you're good. Okay. 3 to 4 a week, and you should be fine. All right. Now, the daily market mover. Why is the daily market mover so meaningful? All right. So let me show you a couple of trades because that's why it's meaningful, because it helps us. Walter, the daily market mover is not included in the challenge, but people had trouble signing up for them. There's a document in the GoToWebinar that tells you you can take one opportunity. It's expiring tomorrow because we had server problems. You can sign up for the whole month of December for the trade room and the daily market movers, and that opportunity is in the document that I uploaded to GoToWebinar. It also has a link for 2 videos, and one of those videos is the action step that everyone's going to take. I want everyone to watch our daily market mover video, how to read the daily market mover, and just show us a screenshot on your computer and post it in the Facebook group. That's the action step. So the daily market mover is important because it helps us to trade. And let me show you a couple of trades, and then we'll get into why the DMM is so important again. So for instance, we have a very popular trade, the University of Michigan. And here's a screenshot on this particular trade. And I just pick random trades, no order, just reasonable in terms of recent. This one was in the summer. It was a $220 trade. And you could see the candle. Okay, the candle popped. That was our trade in the trade room. And the daily market mover is our guide. Okay. And 9 times out of 10 in the trade room, we're showing people how to set up the software using the daily market mover. Okay. And we'll show the daily market mover in the room. So the daily market mover will very often explain sometimes exactly how we're going to do the trade. Sometimes market conditions will require a change. Maybe the bracket will be a little bigger because gold is really moving. Just remember with trading, nothing is etched in stone. You want to use your brain. You want to be a little bit flexible. Um, Something really important, people that only want things handed to them. Traders that just want things handed to them do the worst in terms of being successful than the traders that make an effort to learn more than just being told what to do. I can't tell you how important that is. In the beginning, of course, you're going to want us to help you more than we're going to help you later, right? But just remember that it's really important. Try so hard, try as hard as you can to start thinking creatively, because the market, it's like an amoeba, it's an organism, it's always moving and changing, and it has a life of its own, and it doesn't always do exactly the same thing over and over. Okay. So this daily market mover helped me to set up my trade. And that trade, as I showed you, was a profitable trade. It's a good setup. The University of Michigan is one of our really good setups. And you can see it. We traded gold, gold shot up, and we made money on that trade. And the daily market mover for the University of Michigan looks like this. It's going to have a date on it, okay? Right? It's going to have the name of the event over here, a risk level, the market we're trading. It might be gold, and it's going to have the symbol, okay? And then this area in here, that's like a history of how the report's been moving over time. And you can see there's dates in there, all right? And some of the dates go back to 2020. So this is historical data. That's just knowledge that there have been peaks. In other words, there have been bursts in price on this report. And sometimes it's been as big as 54 ticks. Okay. That was in March. And that's just informational. All right. It's just for your information. The important parts of the daily market mover are the instrument you're trading. Of course, you don't want to be trading the wrong thing. The time of the event, right? The trigger time. This event takes place at 10 o'clock. So if you're a trade room member, we'll be in the trade room at 9:30 for that. All right. And then the yellow line, this line here, is the most important line, or it's an important line because that has our trade setup. It has the bracket we're using in ticks. It's an 8-tick bracket. What time we're putting into the software, the activation time. We have a cancel rule on many trades. And what the cancel rule means is if you don't get filled, if you don't get pulled into a trade within 20 seconds, you can cancel the trade. Okay. And you can cancel the trade by just unchecking the enabled button. That button that you check to turn on the software, you turn off the trade, cancel the trade by unchecking it. All right. And then we have targets and a stop. A stop is if the trade goes against you. That's the approximate number of ticks that you will lose if the trade goes against you. And the targets are if the trade goes in your direction, that's when you might consider taking a profit or not taking a profit. Down here, under the yellow line, is a journal, okay? And it usually has 6 weeks or months or quarters, depending on the type of trade it is. It might be a quarterly trade, a trade that takes place every 3 months. It might be a weekly trade like oil and gas, API. It might be an 8 times a year trade like the Fed reports. Okay, that journal tells you what happened the last 6 events, usually. Okay, if it's a new event, there might not be 6. And very importantly, it assumes that you used the exact setup in the yellow line. In other words, we have to have some methodology to determine if that particular setup worked. But here's the reality, especially in the current markets. With a war going on and with the Fed raising rates, the markets have been dramatically volatile, more than we've ever seen, possibly. Really, really volatile. And in the trade room, we're always going over these reports. So when I say it's not etched in stone, there may be trades where we increase the bracket, okay? And there is a rule, if you increase a bracket, if I increase the bracket to 12, you should increase your stop by the same number of ticks. So if my bracket is 8 and I bring it to 12, I make it bigger, and my stop is 10, and I made the bracket 4 ticks bigger, make the stop 14, make the stop 4 ticks bigger. Now targets are a whole different animal. I will give a range of targets. All right. I don't want, and people should not use my exact targets. You don't want everybody trading the exact same thing all the time. Um, it's just not a smart thing to do. You want to ultimately, in the long run, come up with your own targets. So I'll normally give a range of targets. In other words, if the DMM says 5 to 8, I might say something like, well, our targets are between 4 and 12, and you can spread your two targets between that. So you might use 5 ticks and 10, or you might use 4 ticks and 11 for target 1 and target 2. Okay? You don't have to use exact targets. Targets are dependent upon the move and they are very variable. You don't want to lock yourself into a target. Maybe a trade is really moving the last 2 months, but we haven't updated the targets yet. We might not update the targets just because the last two trades moved a lot. The number here in this third row over here shows the spike at the time of the news. So the bigger that is on a winning trade, the greater potential for more ticks of profit, right? So if you're trading a report that has 30 ticks, 50 ticks, and your targets are looking small, 5 and 8, you probably could increase the size of your targets, okay? All right? So targets are adjustable. Now, Juan says, what do I mean, a bracket? Yes, the bracket means the price above the current price and the price below the current price, right? Let me see if I should have a picture, yep, of a bracket. All right, so here's a bracket here, right? It means current price. You're going to be 8 ticks away below the current price. You're going to be 8 ticks away above the current price. That's what we mean by the bracket. And it's measured in whatever the instrument uses for its single move. And most of the time it's ticks. Okay. Or it might be pips, right? But generally for us, it's going to be ticks. It's going to be ticks. All right. Any questions yet? Trailing stops are fine. So Andre's asking, is a trailing stop a good option? Or should you just aim to take profits? I guess it depends on the market traded. So Andre, a lot of that also depends on the move. In other words, if you're trading a report that has a history of not pulling back and reversing a lot, trailing stops are definitely tradable and usable. And our software does have the ability to trail stops, okay? And I know Larry is here because Larry's a regular trade room member. I think he's here, Larry R. And I know because Larry sends me his profitable videos all the time, and he likes using trailing stops on a lot more reports than I use it on. So, in answer to your question, you can use trailing stops, absolutely. Okay. All right. So, I'm going to show everybody. Lewis also likes trailing stops. And I like them sometimes. I used to use them all the time on earnings, all the time. And then, you wind up changing. It's just the nature of trading. Sometimes you just change the way you trade, or your stops get bigger, or your targets get bigger. But very important, let me show you another DMM and another winning trade, okay? So this was a recent 20-year bond auction. We trade those using the 30-year bond, okay? And don't get scared by thinking, I don't know what the 30-year bond is. I don't know how to trade gold. They all trade the same. They're just a different symbol. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Let's take a look. I'm gonna just shut down my presentation because that's what we got to do here. Give me a second if I can. Where is it? Sometimes the software I'm using is so crazy. It doesn't let me do what I want to do. I'm crazy myself. Okay. Bear with me, folks. Okay, so I'm losing my mind. What was I just saying? What was I just going to show you? Brackets for one, and that's not what I was going to show you. Somebody, I lost my train of thought. Tell me what I was just going to show you. Somebody, I lost my mind. 30. Oh, yeah, the bond trade. Okay. I was going to show you instruments. Don't worry. Don't worry about instruments being different. So look on this chart here, right? I have an ES chart. You can see up here, it's the ES symbol. If I want to trade bonds, you just, when you eventually, you're going to know the symbols, you just type it in, okay? You just type it in, and it's just another symbol. They may have different values. In other words, each tick that price moves might be different on a different instrument, okay? But typing in different instruments, if I'm going to trade gold, I know the symbol, right? So I type it in. It's not really, there's nothing to be afraid of. That's my point. Nothing to be worried about. You don't have to know a whole heck of a lot about bonds to trade bonds on an appointment-based trade. You just don't. You don't have to be an expert in trading bonds. You just want to know that uh, bonds are going to move on the report that you're trading. Now, Lewis asked an important question. Am I using, Lewis, I don't know the version of NinjaTrader that I'm using, but I will tell everybody this, that I always upgrade to the newest version of NinjaTrader when it's available. In all my time, they've only had one instance where they had a problem, and it wasn't even that serious. When they did an update and it screwed something up, it wasn't terrible. Generally, when NinjaTrader releases an update, I download it the first day. I always want to be trading the most current version, and you should be running a 64-bit computer and a 64-bit version of the software. Okay. So the point is, do not worry about the instrument. You'll learn to trade the different instruments. They do move differently than each other sometimes, but basically an instrument is an instrument. Okay. Yeah. And the help button shows you when you click about, it shows you the version of NinjaTrader that you're trading. Okay. The markets are closed today, James, so everything's going to be light right now. James was asking, did the bond contract I show look like it's light on volume? The markets are closed right now, so there's no volume. Okay. You can still get, your contract up. So I was going to show you one more trade, and I'll show you how to enter in a DMM. One more bond trade, just because it's fun. And bond trades have been trading pretty well. So we had a November bond trade, and this is actual real trade room video. This is what we were streaming to all our members. So the trade room starts, and I bring out the DMM, all right? And it's go right to the yellow line, right? That's our setup. Look at the journal. The last six were two losers, two stops, three winners, and a cancel. That's not bad, okay? That's 50% winners, but one cancel. The cancel means it didn't win, it didn't lose, okay? So it's okay. That's not bad. I would trade that live. That's decent performance. definitely okay to trade. And then we have a bracket of 3. We have a certain activation time. We have a cancellation rule, and you'll come to learn that I don't use cancels. Okay. We have targets and we have a stop. So we entered those into the software, and then as we came into the time, we talk, we go over previous trades, we look at videos, talk about music a little bit, and then we get serious. All right. And my orders are going to show up on the charts in a couple of seconds. And someone's asking if you can trade on Sundays. You can't trade when the markets are closed, but you can trade Sunday evening after 6 p.m. Eastern time when the market's open, the futures market's open. There's my orders, an explosive, profitable trade. Thank you, DMM. Okay. We used the DMM setup, made over $200 on that trade. Those little X's that you saw, those are the orders. They show up on the chart. So you can see them over here. All right. So the DMM, ideally, we want the DMM to help us to make money, right? Okay. Now, Walter asks a question, would I suggest using JOBB software without the DMM? Absolutely. I mean, our software has been updated so many times over the past years, Walter, that it is now a standalone discretionary trading product that has nothing to do with us if you don't want to trade events. In my opinion, it's a fantastic product. And I'm bragging because I did most of the updates. And I'll be honest, I used a lot of ideas from our members to do the updates. Our members had great ideas to put into our software. But it's a super ATM. You don't have to learn to use, to create automation. So absolutely, our software can trade discretionary in so many different ways. I wouldn't even be able to touch on them in a week. It would take a week, in all honesty, to go through all the power of our software easily. I could spend a week going over it and not cover everything. No, I don't think that with the DMM it's more valuable. I think depends on the way that you want to trade. The DMM with our software is a fantastic combo and it's valuable, super valuable. But our software is a standalone product. So to me, there's great value in both. I don't really say one is better than the other. I think if you're a discretionary trader and you want to trade a breakout of a certain time, our software can do it. That's awesome. We do opening range trading, Gord, in the trade room. We definitely do, and it changes. Sometimes we do them, then we go away from them when the market's getting consistent. All right, so we're going to enter in a DMM into the software. Okay, so you have to boot up your Ninja Trader, right? And then when you boot up your Ninja Trader, let's say we've got the ADP, which was a great trade this week. I'll just use that setup because I just happen to have the DMM. So we know what we're trading. Okay, I'm trading gold, right? So this is actually 2 months ago, this particular DMM. So I'll do what it tells me. The market I'm trading is GC. And you can just put your cursor on the chart and type GC space 1222. It's going to look weird because that contract is expired. So make believe it says GC 0223 because that's the newer contract. Okay. GC 0223 is current. So I use the correct contract. And that's also a warning. If you make a mistake and you put the wrong contract in, the chart might look so weird, you know you can't trade it, right? Now, how do we get our software? Where's the Where's the strategy? I can't find it. I forgot how to find it. Oh, right click the chart, click on strategy, and then JOBB version 10, click it twice. The default is a trade type called the breakout trade. Okay? You could go, let's go in order. All right, we'll go in order. The bracket is 20. Here's the item bracket. Just put your cursor there, click it, and type backspace, put in a 20. Activation time. Okay? There's activation. You'll notice it's in a time format. So XX, we know this trade is at 8:15 Eastern time. All right. Use your local time. If you're in California and you're trading at 5:15, you're going to use 5, not 8. Okay. If your computer's set to local time. So I'm going to use 8:14:59 to activate my program. 8:14:59, and that's how I put the time in. Cancel, no fill. All right. We have a cancel after X seconds over here. All right. I never use it. You'll never see me automatically cancel a trade. But if you want to, you can. If we don't get pulled into the trade, it will cancel automatically if you want to after 15 seconds. But remember the time we're putting the trade on? We're putting the trade on 1 second before the event. So add that 1 second to your cancel, right? Or you'll cancel at the wrong time. It'll cancel a second early. So you could make it a 16 if you want to automatically cancel. Why do I not automatically cancel? I've just seen too many trades take 30 seconds, especially since the pandemic. That's why. Okay. I don't want an automation always to tell me what to do. I want to be able to watch the market. Maybe the news is coming out late and we know it because we're listening to the Squawk Box in Financial Juice. Or maybe we just know the news is late because it's not on the website investing.com yet, although honestly it's not 100% reliable, but it's moderately reliable. But maybe I just don't want to cancel because lately reports have been moving markets slower than our cancels. So that's the one thing that you can do it, but I prefer not to personally. Then we have positions. How many targets are you going to trade? How many contracts? That's not on the DMM because that's up to you. We're not going to tell you how many positions to take or how many contracts to take, okay? Because that's not our job. Our job isn't to tell you how much risk to take. Now, each position is one contract. 1 equals 1 contract. So position 1 is a 1 and position 2 is a 0. That means you're just trading 1 contract. But we have 2 targets, right? So the average trade, you could put a position in for position 1 in each. Position 1 equals 1, position 2 equals 1. That means you're trading 2 contracts. Target 1 is a 7. Target 2 is a 13. Okay? And then the stop is 30. Scroll down a little bit. Where's our stop? Stop loss ticks. 30. Okay? That's everything from the DMM. That essentially is the setup for the trade. When you're done entering, okay, there's a couple of things you want to do. You're going to scroll down, okay, and you're going to come to setup. And your account should be on SIM because you're not trading live at the moment. If you want to press that arrow, if you want to trade live, you could change to your live account. and nothing else gets changed. Everything else is default. The only other thing I like to do is I like to label the trade, the name of the trade. This was ADP. I call it ADP. Okay. Now what happens is you go to apply and OK, and the trade shows up. The setup is now on the control panel. If you use the label, it puts the name of the label that you used. It shows you the account you're trading. When you trade, it'll show you if there's profit or not, or loss, parameters that you're using, if you're using an ATM or not. We're not. The chart is a 1-minute chart and the instrument. This information is information that the program just gets from the platform. You're changing the instrument, right? You did that on the chart, right? We chose gold. So your instrument should be correct. You entered it. You made sure your chart was on the right instrument. And the enabled button will turn the trade on. So when you get ready for the trade, you're going to click the enabled button. Now, NinjaTrader has certain features, right? The trade panel here, they call this chart trader, this gray area here. It shows you what your account is. It's SIM or it could be live. You could change to a live account, okay? Be careful if you have a live account. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't want to be live, right? If you right click the chart, you can also see similar information inside our strategy. The account is the SIM account, okay? Or you could make sure the strategy's trading on this account, okay? It doesn't change the charts. It just tells the software to trade on that account, okay? Apply it and okay it. And then when you're ready to trade, when you get close to the time, you enable the trade. Now, nothing's going to happen because right now the markets are closed. Time is not moving. Price is not moving. So you're not going to see anything. But if time was moving, a trade would take place, okay? Your brackets would show up and you'd have a trade. Now, one thing that's important, if you have your trade enabled, if you're checked, you can't open the strategy. It won't let you, I take it back. It won't let you edit the strategy. See how everything's grayed out? It drives people crazy in the beginning. They forget. You can't edit the strategy. So uncheck and then right click the chart and go to strategy. Then you can re-edit. Maybe you want to make your target bigger. Maybe you want a 10 tick target, okay? And if you change something, always apply it and okay it so it takes the change. And that's how you enter a DMM into the software, okay? So folks, that's our lesson for today. I'm going to stay here and answer any question. I want to remind everybody that if you want to come into the trade room, the opportunity is still there until tomorrow. All right. Also, the action step is to watch how do I read the DMM video. The link is on the document that I uploaded. Let me upload the link into the room right now. Give me a second. Let me give you the links. Bear with me. And I'll also answer any questions anybody's got. So I see there's a bunch, so let me go through them. Let me go through them. Okay, so I'll post how to read the DMM and how to read the WMM. All right, I'm just going to post it in the chat. and I'll post it in, there's two places I can post. I'm going to post in both. Okay. And I'm also going to post the opportunities. Again, I'm not a big seller, especially when I'm teaching. I don't like to sell when I'm teaching, but these opportunities were pretty cool. So you still have an opportunity to take them. I've posted them. And then let me go through questions. We have a whole bunch. You know, I don't give you the bums rush. So let me start going through the questions. Just bear with me. I got to scroll back. Got to scroll back. James asks a good question. How do you know that you're trading the most liquid contract? So, James, I mean, eventually you will learn to look at the various contracts. Remember what we said about data at the webinar yesterday? That if you buy the $39 data as opposed to the $12 data per month, it shows you liquidity. That's one way, is if you have the data that shows liquidity, when you open the trading dome, right? When you open the trading dome, the super dome, and you put the contract into the instrument area, right? The numbers will show up. It'll show you the liquidity. So you can compare the current contract and you could compare another contract if you think there might be a liquidity issue. For us, we're always checking that in the room. So we want to make sure we're trading the right contract. And the DMM tells us which contract we're trading. So, you know, on occasion, look, we're human. I've seen a mistake in the contract, but look what happens. Sometimes the chart won't look crazy, right? But if we accidentally put the December gold contract on the DMM, it would look like that. How in heaven's name would you trade that? You should know that that's not tradable. And you'd say to yourself, I think there's something not right here. You want to have, you know, fully formed candles and a normal looking chart or you don't want to trade. Okay. One rule, if you're not sure what's going on, don't trade. There's always going to be another trade. If you don't know what's going on, do not trade. It's that simple. Okay. Let me go over more questions. These are good questions, everyone. Love the good questions. Okay, we answered, can you trade on Sunday? We asked, we do opening range trades. Chris, there is a trailing stop in the software. I'm not getting into that at the moment, but it's certainly there. One thing about the software that everybody could know, when you open it, if you hover your mouse over these inputs, I call these inputs, it will describe what it does if you hold the mouse there. Okay, profit target 3, distance of target and ticks, and it'll give you a what's the word I'm looking for? The way to type it in. Okay, if you hover, it'll teach you a lot about the software. Okay. Um, so that answers that. Which event has bigger profit? One, there's a lot of them. It really varies with the time of year or report. You know, it depends on what's the best report at the time. You know, CPIs were great. It really changes. It really changes. Australia rate statement's been really good. The WASD's been really good. WASD's this week. US retail's been really good. Can you make changes while in a trade? Leslie, you can't change the strategy while you're in a trade because keep in mind the strategy triggers the trade. So no, but NinjaTrader has chart trading. So your strategy might generate orders, right? It might generate buys and sells, and you can move those orders around. during a trade. You can move your orders, your stops, your targets. So you're not locked into stone by your brackets or anything. You can move all sorts of stuff. Okay. Absolutely. Absolutely. No data. Uh, okay, bear with me. I just want to go through everything. Will this work on micros? It'll work on any instrument, micros, minis. You could trade Forex, but we're not set up for Forex for the calculation. Okay. You can look at stocks with our software, but but some instruments don't move in terms of ticks. In terms of data feed, which is the best package to use once free runs out, I'd say, Roz, I'd say most people are running fine with CQG. We're using CQG, or they call it Continuum. It's fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Rhythmic is fine. It's usually between Rhythmic and CQG. Some people use Kinetic. I'm not using Kinetic. Um, it's more expensive, but for what we're doing, CQG and Rhythmic are both fine. CQG Continuum is what it's called. Larry, you definitely want to update your software. Update the software should be updated by everyone. Okay, absolutely everyone. Our software. Okay, so data feed. Yeah, they give you CQG for the trial. It's great. There's nothing wrong with it. Jeff asks if we want to concentrate on just a certain type of trade, such as evenings. Jeff, you could do whatever you want, right? Just trade those trades. No one's going to make you trade what you don't want to trade, right? Concentrate on the reports at the time that you like. The way to do well with us, anyway, no matter what, the way to do well, trade the best of the best. Don't trade the reports that aren't trading well, right? Just because you think it might work. Uh, Look at the journal, look at the DMM. If a trade's a disaster and it's had no winners in a month, you might not want to trade that one, right? I am not supplying chart templates, Pat. They're so easy to create. You can create a template in 1 second. It's just, I don't have time to, and I don't want you using my targets, all right? It's so easy. You can create a template in 30 seconds. And I don't want people copying me. Exactly. I will. Every now and then I'll put a template in the trade room drive. I'll put it up there. So I will share some templates, Pat. I'm not an unreasonable person. I just not supplying every template. Okay. What Pat means by a template is you could set up a trade, the target, the stop, the entry, and you could go to template down here and you could save that setup and give it a name, ADP, right? And then you have your ADP trade set up. So you don't have to type it in again. Another reason I'm not a template maniac, I love templates because they tell us how we traded the last time we traded the report, because you could save it. But templates will change. Your targets are going to change, etc. So I like to save them because it shows me how I traded recently. But I'm always thinking with an open mind in case something needs to be changed because the markets are changeable. Volatility. Look what happened, and I'm going to say it all through the training. Look what happened at the beige book. It was so volatile we couldn't even take our trade. Okay, so you want to use your eyes and your ears and your common sense, and you'll do great. Okay. Gord asks if traders been able to use this to get funded at Apex or others. Chantal, who works for us, just got funded 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, using our software. Plenty of people use our software to get funded. Absolutely. Our software is just a tool, Gord. You could definitely use it. You have to be careful with breakout news trades on all the funding programs. So you just have to be aware of things that can come up, and that's true with any funding program with anybody's software. James, I don't think it's Rhythmic that's choosing the margins. They're just the data provider. It's your broker that's making that decision. I don't think it's Rhythmic that is choosing margins, okay? The enable button will close sitting trades when they're on the chart. Yep, it will. What is the difference between V10 and trap trade? We'll get into trap trade. That's going to be another lesson. The trap trade is another strategy. Remember when you loaded our software, you also loaded the trap trade. We'll get into the trap trade. It's a type of reversal trade, and we're going to cover that too. Okay. So I don't see any other questions. It's time to go watch football or some World Cup soccer. Any other questions? Everybody's got the links. Okay. I think you've learned a lot for one day. You can enter a trade. The action step, right? The action step, download. You don't even have to download it. Watch the DMM video and post it. Post it. All right. Because remember, if you're the person that does the most action steps, there's cash prizes, folks. We want you to be engaged in the Facebook group because then we know you're all doing this. And then when we get ready to take a real trade, we know you'll be ready. But don't forget, you got those cash prizes, right? Just a note. Michael was saying that the move on the 6E was massive. It sure was. When you're trading a very popular, fast moving report, like a jobs report, it will move many different indexes. It'll move many different instruments. There is no law that says you have to choose the instrument that we choose to trade. Quite a few people made money on the jobs report Friday trading our oil setup. I traded gold and I didn't make money Friday, and that happens. Okay. All right. I see the comments have dried up. A lot of people here. Don't forget to look in the handout for today's document. Okay. Walter, the WM is free. WMM is free. Just go to our website and sign up for the video, how to find 10-minute trades, and you'll be signed up for the WMM. Just go to 10minutetrades.com. Okay. We've traded the 6E, Michael, and it has not traded well. The last couple of months, it's looking a little better. It's also poor liquidity compared to other instruments. It's smaller in tick size, 6.25, $6.25. But at times, it's a great instrument to trade for the jobs report. It's absolutely a viable choice. Absolutely viable. Okay, definitely. I know James. James is saying that Australia lost yesterday. I watched the game. James, I was really disappointed also. Me too. I was going for Australia. I was going for Australia. Now that the US is out, I don't know. I just like watching some of the games. I like watching some of the games. Michael, it is a one cancel the other. One cancels the other orders. Those are the type of orders that we're creating. One cancels the other. All right. And don't forget when you enable the trade, when you enable a trade, right? When you click the enable button, it puts your logo on. It means the software is activated and you're live. You're ready to trade when you click the enable button. Where is there? You don't have to do anything. Our software automatically does one cancel the other. There's nothing to do. Okay, folks. Everybody have a great rest of your day. Everybody's license, unless it was sent early, unless it was sent late this morning, 99% of everyone is active. Um, there's no way that I know of to do. Michael, I don't know the answer to that. Um, Ludus, I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. It'll get activated today. Andy, the replay should post sometime today. Okay, should post sometime today. Everyone should be activated today. There, there might be a way to do a one cancels the other in Ninja, but I'm not familiar with it. I'm not a discretionary trader. I only use software to trade. So, Michael, that would be a question. I don't know the answer on that one. Sorry. Okay, folks. Okay, Andy. You know, I would say most machine IDs will get done today. Okay, folks. I'll see everybody tomorrow. See you.